Hi guys, and welcome to another F1 Clash video by myself as a WF1. If you haven't already, do make sure you like, comment and subscribe. It does help me keep providing the content to you, and I'm so glad that some of you who have left feedback are learning from day to day. Today we have the opening round of the Redbull Team Series event, and let's bring you up to speed with exactly where I am. So we're 4 races in. We're 176 points, so on average, if we double that, we're probably going to get around 352 points. This is what's happening at the top at the moment. Music Man, who we fight with, is underway, 87 points after 2. Ivan Fernandez is sitting top. He's suddenly now spent, obviously, clearly a lot of money to be able to be pulling off 47s every single race, and he's now rose to the top of the pile. Up there with Music Man, so it's going to be very tough for us to hold on to maybe even a top 3 finish this week. It looks like 3rd place is going to be the best we could probably hope for, unless something happens in the races tomorrow. But let's kick off then. We've got Belgium, and we've got 50% chance of rain. Here we go with Belgium then, a very notoriously tricky track. So we're going to hope for our best here and see if we can get over the 40 point mark. That's sort of what I try and hope for every week. So 9th and 10th, and we've got dry weather at the moment. So we're going to stick on a dead fast for Verstappen, and a lumberjack for a bit of tyres and the overtaking and speed for Perez. So we're going to, it's a tricky race now. Obviously his Verstappen's way up there. I'm going to struggle to make big amends from here, but we'll give it a go as we get off then. So 9 and 10, can we make any ground up from the start? We can't, and we're going to actually try and have to swap these drivers around, which we do. So and then they swap back round again, which is unreal. So yeah, 9th and 10th at the moment as we settle down. We are going to have to try and get past as well as we can. We've got 3 and 4 laps for the cars ahead in terms of tyre strategies. So when we do pit on lap 2, we've got a lot of soft tyres behind us. So hopefully we can get ahead of them and jump them in the pits. So P8 now for Verstappen. And I'm not going to push too hard. I'm going to try and make moves when possible. So into this first corner is a great opportunity. And we can't get anything there, as Perez gets into P9 and Verstappen P8. So we're going to pit this lap. I'm not going to service. We've got Russell ahead on the hard tyre, so we want to get past him if we can. And we should get him into the next corner here. So down into this corner, up the inside, and we do. And we'll just close that gap a little bit up to Hamilton. We can't overtake in this part of the track, so we're going to come back in. We shouldn't have any pit stops here unless the AI is going for a completely odd strategy, and we don't. So Verstappen comes in, Perez carries on round, rivals pitted into mediums. For some reason Verstappen took quite a 3 seconds in the pits there. He's going to come out in 11th place. So the rival did have the better team score in this race, so it's going to be very difficult for us to get ahead of his points. But Verstappen's out in P10. A bit of traffic. If we don't get past this corner, we will cut down a little bit. And we will, just to save that car servicing. And what we'll do is we will bring him back into pit the following lap. So we'll boost now. It's going to be nowhere near the 47 point mark, that's for sure today, as they all pit, and Verstappen will now come through. Can we get ahead of Perez? We can't, but can we chuck it up the inside? We can. So P3 for Verstappen. Perez is out in P8, and not really much overtaking from the pit stops ahead apart from my Verstappen pitting. And Verstappen is making some moves now in terms of empty space on this track. Rival's got to do 2 laps on that medium tyre, which is going to be tricky. He's not going to be able to push too much, and I'm going to be able to push all the way to the end and come back out in probably 3rd place. So we could get the rival. Perez round the outside into P6. We're going to have to cut down shortly. In fact, we'll do that here. As Verstappen comes out P4. Perez is P6. And we're going to boost Perez again up the hill. Verstappen into P3. You can see why that dead fast works a treat. And hopefully that lumberjack can get Perez past Leclerc shortly. So one of the key overtaking opportunities is coming up now. So straight down the inside is where a lot of overtaking happens. And there we have it again. The rival is going to be pitting this lap. So Perez has got a chance of getting into 4th. As Verstappen now takes 2nd place. So can Perez get Perez? He can't, so he's holding us up a bit and he's coming out with Verstappen, so we're not going to get into 4th through the pits as Verstappen takes P1. So a great opportunity there from where we started. A nice P1 at the moment. Can Perez get past? He can, so Perez into P4. So we are going to get 45 points potentially here. And I think 3rd and 2nd are well gone for Perez, so we're just going to conserve to the end on a medium boost. But Verstappen with that dead fast 2-2-2 strategy comes home in 1st place. And Perez, considering we are something like 9th and 10th, cuts up to 4th with that medium boost. We have run out of tyres, but there's no danger behind. And across the line for P4. So 45 points. We'll absolutely take that at Belgium pretty much any race. It's very hard to get 47 points without rain. Obviously, this was a 50% chance with rain, and there wasn't any. So 45 points in the dry. Race number 6 then, and it is from Abu Dhabi. Very tricky first corner circuit, so hopefully we can navigate that well. Fingers crossed we get a good qualifying position, which we do. And we are 7th and 9th. And if you have watched my video recently, I did put up a strategy for this track. And we are going to go with that strategy on here. We're going to go medium. And we're also going to go for a hard tyre into soft. So we're going to go 4 medium, 4 hard. Or maybe even 4 medium, 4 medium. I'll see what tyres are like. We are on the left-hand side, so we're probably going to get a poor start here. We're on the wrong side of the grid, because if you start on the other side, you do usually get lucky up the inside. Perez might still get lucky, and he does, up to P4 for Perez, and Verstappen in P7. So we're going to get around halfway through the lap, as Perez gets P3, hopefully. And we are then going to cut down. So Perez into P3, Verstappen P6. Probably going to get a bit of team orders at some point, which is going to make this a bit interesting. And probably bring Perez back behind Verstappen, but P5 for Verstappen. P3 for Perez, so we started really well from 7th and 9th. That is probably an amazing start, considering that you could probably end up down in 16th off that first corner if it's not right. So Perez is P4 now. And we're going to... Verstappen's lost out as I was just boosting Verstappen, but dead fast might bring him back through. And it does. Honestly, guys, dead fast, such a good one to use as we come back round then. So in terms of tyres, 5 laps comfortably for Perez here and 4 laps comfortably for Verstappen. So I'm all good on tyres. That's only going to get better throughout, but I'm going to keep boosting at the slower part where you can use a lot of time. Verstappen should overtake Perez here. We are going to boost into the chicane. Verstappen doesn't go great through there, but we are going to boost him now ahead of Perez. As Verstappen goes out, Perez goes off for a wander, and we'll cut him down, and then we're going to cut Verstappen up to medium, fast boost, and we'll get him started. And Perez, we're going to just hold up the rival a little bit, or the AI I should say. We're just going to hold them up as much as we can, because that's only going to benefit me and Verstappen. So Perez now in still P5, Verstappen's up to P2, and we'll see him through to the pits. Remember, I need 20% for 5 laps, and I've got 33, so we're going to boost Perez now, and we're going to come back for medium tyres. and it's into third for Perez. Always do a one stop at Abu Dhabi because the pit lane's so long. You probably lose 10-12 seconds overall, considering you've got a 4-5 second pit stop, all the entry in, the entry out. It's a long pit stop, so you want to do the one stop every time. Verstappen then P6. We are chasing down a Perez on medium tyres, but the thing about this weekend, guys, it's Red Bull Team Series event, so Perez and Verstappen usually start near the front anyway, and the AIs are even stronger now because of that 10%. So they're also going to be in the ballpark of where we finish this week. Next week is Ricciardo, so that will bring it a bit more level in terms of the playing field. So Verstappen on that dead fast through into third place. Perez on Eternal Flame is doing well, catching back up as well. Perez is not going to get to the end. Hamilton won't get to the end either. So we are a net first here. We are a net first place with Verstappen. We haven't got tons of fuel left. Perez has slightly got better fuel as he goes up the inside and grabs fourth place. So Verstappen's right on the cusp of overtaking sort of P1, I'd say, as he goes up the inside. And Perez is almost actually on the cusp as well. So we could get a 1-2. And it's a perfect strategy using boosts here if we can get a 1-2. Verstappen's going to have to cut down soon. And it's the Ferrari. Perez coming out the pit. So we get P1. And we'll also get P3. So not quite P2. He is on soft tyres as well. So it's very unlikely that Perez gets that P2 off him. But we'll try. We will try. We have got boosts. We've got the same level Perez. So Verstappen is running out of fuel. Perez is hunting down Perez, but he's not going to get there. It is going to be a P1 and a P3 in the end. So starting from 7th and 9th. A P1 and a P3 finish. So 46 points in Abu Dhabi with a difficult first corner navigated as well. So 46 points, and we'll move on to the next race. Race number 7. Race number 7 from Zandvoort, the Netherlands. We've got a slightly bad matchup here. The rival has got a higher team score, so expecting that we don't out-qualify them, and that is the case. P3 and P13 for the rival, P8 and P10 for me, which is slightly annoying, but there's not a lot I can do about that one. So let's get them going then, and we are going to use a Taurus if I can find it. There it is. So we're going to go both start on soft. We're going to go Perez for 4 laps, Verstappen for 3 laps, but we will take a look at what the AI is doing. So let's kick off then. So hopefully we can get a good start. Can we go up the middle with Verstappen? Not quite. What about around the outside? We can get 1. So P7 and P9 is where we start. And we can get into P6. Not quite. So P7 and P10 after the first couple of corners. And looking ahead, lap 3 and lap 4 looks like the key laps that the AI is going to pit at. So I'm going to go and put both now on a 3-lap, 4-lap run. I think that's going to be the best thing for me to do. And we've got Verstappen in P7. We'll try and get past him on the straight. As Verstappen gets into P6, we'll cut that down. Perez loses out into P11. Definitely think that Verstappen's going to have to come in earlier because he's going to get caught in the traffic of ahead. Verstappen, Leclerc all doing 4 laps on the hard and medium tyres. So we are probably going to bring in, I would say, lap 3 and try and undercut because the rest of the computer is doing sort of 4 laps. So we'll see what we can do though. Verstappen's got that tuning, remember, as well, so he is going to do a quick pit stop as the AI goes off, and Perez gets up to P9. So we'll bring them in then. We probably will get near enough 4 laps out of these mediums. We definitely will with Perez. as Verstappen trying to get past Hamilton. Can we go up the inside? Not quite. And these are on medium tyres. So I expect medium lap 4. And I expect the hard runners lap 5. So we are going to see if we can do an undercut here. I think it's got to be the play based on the strategies. We should get about a 4-second pit stop with Verstappen. So we might double stack a little bit, 3 seconds. And we'll bring him back out in P8. Or even P9. Perez comes out in P18. So hopefully we'll undercut a lot of the cars ahead. Everyone is needing to pit still. So let's see how it plays out on this one. Perez is losing positions down in P18. Probably not the strategy to go on for him. So P6 for Verstappen with 4 to pit in front of him. Perez gets back up into P13. So definitely didn't work that strategy correctly. As Verstappen all over the hard tyre runners. Perez not finding past Vettel. And we have Verstappen into P2 chasing down Perez. Perez is still stuck behind Vettel. But we'll get a few positions now with the field. For final round, I will do that same strategy with Perez because it clearly hasn't worked with him. So we will go to a longer strategy with him. And he goes round the outside, can't get P10. As Verstappen's P2. So Perez was the test to see if we could do an undercut. It didn't work. The medium tyre with that Taurus boost has not helped us at all. We probably should have gone a soft maybe and try and get through, but we learn from that. Just a little bit of a mistake from me. It's going to be cut my points massively onto 37. But if you're watching this and you've got this to go, don't do what I do because I'm about to run out of car service as well. So a bit of a messy one with Perez here. But that's okay. We can't be perfect. But I do need to cut it out, if possible, them mistakes. So P10, it is only 38 points as Perez runs out of his service. The final race then of the opening round. And we have race number 8 from France. Sadly, France isn't in next year's F1 calendar, so I doubt we'll see it in the F1 Clash game as well. But nice little track really as well, the French one. So it's such a shame. But here we go then. So we're going to go for... We're running out of them slowly, but dead fast on there. And we're going to go for a Rooster, which is the home of the French boost, on a medium. So the strategies, guys, we are doing a 3-3-2 or 3-2-3, depending on what I want to do on Verstappen. And we're going to do a 4-4 on Perez. Obviously, we've got that big tyre advantage in terms of better strategy management. Verstappen got a poor start, but Perez got a lovely start into P5. Can we go up the inside here? Not quite. But we'll cut down into P5, and Verstappen's lost another place somehow into P9. So not the best start at all from Max, which is a shame, as he loses another space. And that's P10 now for Verstappen. So luckily with that dead fast, we will be flying later on, as Perez also loses P5. But I'm not too worried about that, because P5 ahead is the soft tyres. So we're not going to worry too much. We're not going to push too much yet. We are going to probably get to the end of this lap and probably push a bit more, because the soft tyres will come in on lap 3. And looking ahead, we've got quite a few people on soft tyres. So we're going to want to push that where possible. Don't want to lose another place, of course. So we'll just boost a little bit. As Verstappen's still in P10, but he's going to gain from when everybody pits or stays out. We'll pit and then we'll fly through, hopefully. So Sainz is ahead now as Perez as we boost. And Sainz is also on the soft tyre. And we're trying to get back that position. We'll boost Verstappen, but we do want to keep more than 50% on the car servicing to make a really quick pit stop, so we're not going to push too much. Perez, I want to build the gap, but we could have done with Sainz not overtaking us. Probably should have been a bit more sort of eyes on, but there's not a lot you can do trying to watch both drivers. It is pretty hard sometimes. But we'll carry on. So P7 at the minute. They will pit in front. And we will come out 4th place at the moment as Verstappen now comes into the pits. It's going to be a tricky race for Verstappen, this one, I think. That poor start really cost us. Perez is okay, though, because Perez is sitting in P4. Could do with P3 just to build another second. That would be nice. We're going to get P3, are we? Not quite. Well, we get him now a bit too late, but we are ahead. And we will come into the pit. So Perez might come out in about 7th, 8th. There's a sort of pack of cars there, 8, 7, 6. If we can beat them out, we'll be laughing. We are going to pit them out. And you can see the hard tyres now coming in. So we're actually going to push. We will push this one. And I will keep going and bring Verstappen back in for mediums. We'll boost all the way to the end on mediums. Perez is in P6. Verstappen gets a lovely boost up the inside and gets ahead. So Perez is in a good position. A few soft tyres still ahead now. So we are going to boost a bit more of Perez to try and get him ahead when they come out. As Sainz, I think, is not coming into the pits just yet. And we're going to get held up a little bit here behind Sainz. Verstappen comes out P10. So we've got a 10-second gap. So we've only got 4 seconds to P3 of Hamilton. So we'll move up a good 3 positions here on this lap. And Verstappen might not be too far away on that dead fast boost, which is making him fly along. So remember, always watch the AI, guys, because you will understand exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to have 3 cars here, pit, and I'm going to come out all the way into 3rd place. Verstappen, because of the pit stops as well, will need to be in P6 and hopefully try and get P5. Perez I'll have to cut down at some point, but I'm going to keep him running because up ahead Verstappen has still got to pit. And we've also got Perez on the hard tyre. So we're still a potential P1 out of this race as the rival suffers a breakdown. So now P2. Perez will take the lead of this race, but he is going to have to start cutting down some tyre. Verstappen into P5. So we're not doing too bad there. That's 44 points. And Perez will kick on a little bit. Verstappen chasing down Leclerc, who's P4, and Leclerc and Perez are both on the hard. So Verstappen into P4. We may be able to get P3. We're going to cut Perez down. And you can see that dead fast boost really trying hard for me as we get right at the back of Perez. Can we go up the inside? We can. And it is a P3 and a P1. So you can see that there. Another 46 points, P1 and P3, and the rival is 5 points. And going to take a while to finish by the look of it. So that's not a bad strategy there. A good changing the strategies up, giving myself 2 options. Perez managed to get the win. Verstappen came back into P3. And remember, Verstappen was down in P10 at one point. So if it wasn't for that P10 awful start, we would have been a lot better off. So let's have a look where that does leave us. So 46 points as we go to the current leaderboard. And you can see we are currently first. We are ahead of Ivan Fernandez, but he has got a good sort of another probably 47, another 47, about 94 points that he probably can get. So and Music Man's coming up as well. So P3, hopefully we could get this weekend. So we got 47 points, 42, 40 and 47. We had 45, 46, 38 was the very tough race for me. Sort of mistake that's cost me another 4 or 5 points. And then 46 points again. So that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you do leave a like and a comment and let me know how you're getting on at your GP weekend. Any questions, let me know, and I always answer to everybody who comments on these. And make sure you subscribe as well. Cheers, guys.